Link.
Link.
During Road Games, I think you optioned a 2-page story in National
By
Geographic.
the creator of Remington Steele. And another guy, Tom Ackerman, who's a pretty good cameraman, who was my landlord at the time. And he told me this idea, and I thought it was a great idea, psychopathic animal. And so I made it. Everett wrote a script, which we were going to shoot here, and then I can't remember, that was around the time of Road Games, and then I got offered Psycho 2, and then there was interest in me doing a film for EMI on the strength of Psycho 2, I think. So went to London and made Link for EMI, but that wasn't a good experience either.
I guess instead of having Rick Baker there with some monkey suits, you decided to opt for the real things and get real chimps.
Yeah, and funnily enough, there was one shot in that trailer that isn't in the movie of the guy in the monkey suit, one of the monkey suits. I've worked with Rick Baker since, and he's a genius, and I don't use that word lightly, at what he does. On Beauty and the Beast, he did the makeup on Ron Perlman in that, and it was just astonishing. Anyway, no, the problem was, you see, they could get away with it on Greystoke because there's no scale to trees, so they could put men inside animatronic suits, and they end up with heads this big. But you put such a creature in a drawing room with Terence Stamp, you know, and its head is as big as the sofa. So we couldn't use men in suits, and that made it the ultimate test of mise-en-scène and montage and the Kuleshov experiment, you know, which was putting together a performance out of lots of tiny behaviours. Never had more storyboards than I had on that film. And as I learned, they work slowly in England. I should have learned that from the tea break. So shooting a film with a lot of shots in England was a mistake. Ray Berwick came over from the States, having done the most difficult animal film of all time, which is The Birds, and he trained the ape. They were great. Crew wasn't so good.
Did you have trouble with quarantine? I mean, I know in Australia you had troubles importing overseas actors. How about importing overseas apes?
We had to quarantine the whole studio. So every shot of the real apes, interior or exterior, was shot on a stage. And that was very difficult. So we would have to shoot long shots on location with men in, you know, I used the same midget that doubled Henry Thomas in Cloak and Dagger, and he would wear just the cheapest suit because we didn't have time to make proper ones, you know, just something from a costume hire place, and I'd shoot him in extreme long shot and then cut into close-ups of the real ape shot on the stages that because of the quarantine law.
EMI got taken over by Canon, which in turn got taken over by, I think, Fred Weintraub's company. And the film subsequently sits on the bottom shelf in most video libraries now, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it ever got a theatrical release in Australia. It got caught in the maelstrom of corporate takeovers, you know. I remember at one point Universal were going to distribute it. And so I was put in a room with the same guys in suits, or they were the same suits, they might have been different guys, as had helped me on Cloak and Dagger. And one guy, he got up and said, the correct length for this type of picture is 103 minutes. Wow. Is that written on a tablet somewhere? Or where do we get that? And I said, this is a thriller. 103 minutes is the optimum length. I said, what's your most successful thriller of the last 5 years? Well, yeah, all right, you got me there. So I can too. Well, it was 113 minutes long. Well, it was probably too long. Anyway, they didn't own the film for very long. So, yeah.